Um, I hate putting disclaimers up, but I got to because people have a tendency to take what black people say, especially black men, say it twist around and try to accuse us of being reverse racist, which is no such thing. It's no such thing as a black racist. But nonetheless, let me speak about racism and certain attitudes that certain people have towards the black community when trying to claim black racism. No other group of people on this planet has been victimized the way black people have. No other group of people on this planet have been victimized the way people of color have. But yet, when black people took the lead to speak out against it, were vilified, whether we're here in the United States or Europe or Asia. I was just watching President Obama speak at the Holocaust Museum because today is National, if I remember, excuse me if I get this wrong, National Holocaust Memorial Day, where they remember the atrocities of the Holocaust and honor those whose lives were perished during that atrocity. While it's sad that 6 million people died, there were black people who died during that atrocity as well that people don't talk about, whether they've been American soldiers or they've been people of color who lived during that time. But you know, when blacks talk about the atrocities that happened to our people, even to this very moment, we're told slavery ended 150 years ago. Now, even if we didn't say anything about slavery, the effects of slavery were still felt after slavery supposedly had been signed away or supposed to have been banned. People forget that there were black people that was minding their own business, walking home from school, from work, or just outside, just being families, or just hanging out by themselves, were murdered. And people forget that the very people that we sit back and honor have joined forces with the very men and women that you see that you see in this image right here, have joined to conspire to keep our community in a constant state of disarray. Now, I'm not saying all white people are racist. I'm not saying all Jewish people are racist. I'm not saying all people of color who are Asian, Arab, Peruvian, Dominican, Cuban, or whomever are racist. But let's be honest. It pays to hate the black man, the black woman, and the black child. Resources are diverted from our community every day. I watch television and watch these men and women, politicians, talking heads lie and say that the black community is the most violent. They sit back and say that we're lazy. They say that we don't know how to be parents, that we don't know how to be children, we don't know how to be lovers, we don't know how to be patriots. All these things that they say about our people, we hear all the time. But yet, anytime we decide we're going to stand up against it, we're going to call it out, we're attacked. Now, I have no problem honoring or paying respects to people whose lives are lost. What about the millions upon 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 millions? I can go forever. Of blacks whose lives were irreparably changed or lost because of one group of people, fear or jealousy. I'm looking at this image right now. I'm looking at this white woman. She actually had to be maybe in her teens or 20s, maybe her 30s. And you had to wonder if she's still alive. If not, did she have children? Did she teach them to hate? Same goes with this guy behind her. Look at these police officers. Look at the flags. Now, a lot of people assume this is the South. This may not even be the South. This could be in the North because it's images that I thought that were from the South that I found out that was from the North. It's this famous video of Dr. King walking through Gage Park here in Chicago, the Chicago area, I should say. And they show these white guys with wife beaters on, waving and throwing up Nazi signs and waving the Confederate flag and saying niggers go home. That was Chicago. Those men are now senior citizens. They're my father's age group or his older brother's age group. So anywhere between they 60s and 70s. And those younger are in their 50s. And you sit there and you say to yourself, how can they hate? Where and how their hatred comes from? It's passed down like a damn cancer. Well, let me see, not passed down like a cancer. It's passed down like a old rug. Excuse me. Got my metaphors mixed up. We sit back and we allow people to guilt us into being quiet and to tell us, hey, don't talk about your past. But yet we talk about everybody's past. We honor everybody else's culture, or at least what they say is their culture. But there's a reason why they tell us don't say anything. Because then we'll start asking questions. Wait a minute, why did that seem so familiar to us? Why did that seem so familiar? Wait a minute, don't we do that? This is why I don't watch reality television or these so-called talent shows. Because people emulate the way we sing, we dance, we dress. But because we've been told to shut up and don't say anything, we allow our culture, our traditions to be taken and twisted into something that we barely recognize. Here it is, when black people get together and want to protest, police come out, they disperse us. Whites come out and protest, nobody says a fucking word. But yet, if I remember my history correctly, white folks have done more rioting than black people. Here it is, we from little boys to the little girls till we're old and gray. We told about the atrocities that Hitler committed against a group of people. But yet we never talk about the atrocities done against us. We're told get over it, move on. Here it is, you have men and women who have stuck in this country illegally, and here it is, people in politics and law enforcement know they've done it, but yet they can still dictate policy. But you and I are born here, and as soon as we say something, we're told you shut up. It's too soon. Wait your turn. Look what happened when our gay counterparts started to complain. They was told to shut up, and then they got wild and said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do what the women's movement did. We're going to go get allies. But then we're going to turn our attention on a certain group of people. Everybody seems to hate or want to attack. Same thing within the Jewish and the Mexican and the Cuban community. They said, let's turn our attention and go after black people, especially black men. Because they know that we don't stick together because of fear. And it's worked for them. Look how fast laws that were put in place in the 90s or ideas have changed overnight. And look who they got to help them. Our president, our first black president. Black men and women who are in politics have spoke out passionately about gay rights. But you don't hear our gay counterparts speaking or praising them. But yet, when nobody speaks so eloquently about our issues, we hear things about bullying every day. But yet, they act as if black kids are not picked on, or black people are not picked on. Here it is on YouTube. If you put a channel up talking about black issues, you are false flagged. You are attacked. You are disrespected. They don't mind putting up videos showing us being stupid. They don't mind putting up videos showing blatant stereotypes or blatant lies. But the moment a brother come along or a group of brothers say, nope, we're going to challenge that. We're not going to let that ride. They tell us to shut up. They said that we're whining. Everybody else on this planet can cry. They can ask for sympathy. They can ask for support. But the moment we do it, we're playing the victim, or we want to be looked upon as a victim. There are black men and black women out here, not just on YouTube, but around us, who are afraid to challenge the system, who are more comfortable attacking one another than attacking those who have profited from our pain. But for me to sit back and watch the president give a speech at a museum, which I understand he has to do certain things as a president, But to sit there and say you cannot compare Zionism or racism when in fact there are men, women, and children who have a certain ethnic belief or religious belief have helped promote lies and stereotypes about our people, and then sit there and confront them on their drama and get called anti this or on this or this or that. It's a slap in the face. Now, if I was born in the 1980s, late 80s, if I was born in the 90s, I'd probably have a different outlook on things. I'd probably be into that Disney mindset or this heavily edited world that we live in. But thank God I was born in the mid-70s. Thank God I had a mother and father that taught me to look at everything from all different angles. I'm glad they taught me to listen, to treat everybody as an individual, then make my own decisions. But when I look at this image right here, I see it every day. It hasn't changed. Swipe out the 1960s for the 1970s, 1970s for the 1980s, the 1980s for the 1990s, the 1990s for the new millennium. Nothing's changed. Well, some things have changed. I'm not going to be all doom and gloom. Are there as many white people racist today as it was back when my father was a kid? That's hard to say. But I had to be fair to those. When I've walked in certain communities or lived in certain communities or interacted in certain businesses and stuff, there were some white men and white women had been very kind-hearted to me and bent over back to make sure that I was taken care of, or that when I was in harm's way, they stuck their neck out for me. I can't deny that. I won't lie to that. But there is an overwhelming number of white men and white women who have done nothing but cause me grief. Now, that's not to say that my own people hasn't done those things. A lot of times we do shit for petty reasons, for self-hatred. But when they do things to us, they do it for the long term, to destroy you, to keep you in a subservient position. This is why, if you notice, they talk to us like we're little kids. This is why they look at us like we're animals. Here it is, every day we see them do and say things that just don't make any fucking sense. And when you point it out, somehow you're the racist. You imagine these things. This is why I tell brothers and sisters that we must focus on ourselves and our communities. We must, if we're going to talk about being a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist, and we really focus on those religious tenets, and we sit there and say, okay, I'm going to be a good human being, then do it. But don't turn around and betray your own people just to say I'm hanging around a group of people who have yet to really prove themselves worthy of our love and friendship. What I'm saying is that we as black people got to understand our past, our present, and what could be our future. And if we don't get right with each other, we're going to constantly see images like this. We're constantly going to see people with smiles on their face, hatred in their heart, malice, because we have yet to understand our true power.